Please remind me to keep charging my phone. If I don't charge my phone, I don't get messages. I can't tape. Bad habits. All right, so here we are in Sun City. This is the destination known as the DAK HQ. Through this gate is a land of wonder and mystery, or just a patch of dirt that we conveniently are allowed to use to run our tanks. Celebrating our 20th year in action, and our whole time we've been trying to put together vehicles that are actually the North African campaign. Now, in the beginning, one of the goals was to have Panzer IVs and some Shermans that were period correct, and they were hard to come by, but you could do it. So now that we have a few tanks that are actually period correct, we're going to try them out and see how they work on our field. Now, here's the big reveal. So this is Coolbank. This is a purchased off the old interweb. And unfortunately, it was pre-tariff, so this has been in my shelf for a while. This is the later version with the 6-pound gun, 56 millimeter, I believe it was. So this tank, yeah, this is a Crusader III. I got the one that's in the tan color because obviously that's easier to redo than the blue painted one. We're going to test it out on our field. We're going to see how it runs.
Got a servo steering, gearbox in the back, and you can't even tell it's RC.
All right, here we go. I got a battery in it. I'm going to try to run it. Got the green light. I guess green means go. So, switches. So during the demonstration, I didn't know enough about the Coolbank tanks. I had to do a lot more work with the remote settings to get it ready. So in between the demos, I'm going to put the thing together. And then you'll see us back on the battlefield, right? All right, let's try this again. Last time I was out here, we tried to run this tank, but I did not read the manual well enough to turn it on correctly. Very handy little box, nicely done. Artwork is good. It comes with a lot of marking options. Ironically, there's no instructions on which unit to do, so I had to do a little Google research. This is the remote control for it. Now, I did this a little bit backwards, whereas I did the detailing and I built it first. And I painted it, as you saw in my previous clips. It's late. I'm out in the garage. Time to look into some paint on the Crusader. These are some AK real colors. It's a new line. I'm going to use light stone and NATO black. This is the tan that this base coat of this tank is fairly good for African work, but this is closer to the real color. It's a little more yellow. NATO black, you just add a few drops of gray here and there and it fades out kind of naturally. Obviously, we're still trying to investigate the whole how to make a Coolbank into a battler. Usually that means you have to gut it and put new electronics in. If I do so, it'll probably be a Clark. NATO black, lacquer thinner, gravity feed airbrush. I'm going to do a little overshading of the panel lines. Going over the panel lines with a darker color to give it depth when you go over it with a lighter color later. Now, it's a little thick. Lines are a little thicker than I wanted, but it's alright. I'm using the Neo just to do this stuff because it's a test, to be honest with you. It looks way overdone now, and if you look at it just offhandedly, very accented, very rough. I mean, it looks kind of comical. It looks like a lot of stuff right out of the box. But there's a method to my madness. For those of you who know what I'm doing, you'll see it in a few minutes. All right, now we're gonna do the overshade with the light stone. Like I said, I'm using the AK Real Color right now. This is a lacquer-based paint. It's the light stone number 61. That is the commonly referred to base coat. So while painting my tank last night, I of course didn't manage to record a lot of it. I'm working on painting the side skirts and the hull of the tank. So they're taped on loosely right now, but this is the basic disruptive scheme. It was 2 wheels and a black coat. I haven't firmly attached these yet. I've decided what to do. So I managed to go over this with the AK Interactive, the NATO Black. I love NATO Black for these camouflage schemes because it's a little bit thinner, it's a little lighter than jet black or flat black, and it gives a more weathered, natural look. So right now, I still have to do the wheels on here, and there's a patch on the front. So I will manage to record this time to show you some of the action. Coolbank includes a large collection of decals. However, they don't really include any instructions. Now, using basic knowledge that I have from other models and whatnot, I'm going to do a LL Lemaine October 1942 paint scheme. I'm going to do the basic markings. I'm going to use the that. Now, interesting. I'm trying to check my resources, but I have a feeling the real rhino is the other way. It's basically like a dry erase transfer minus the rubbing. So you take it, decide where you want to put it. Nice little open spot. Push it down, give it a little English, pardon the wordplay. And you peel. You have a slightly raised, almost painted on look, which is what we go for with decals like this. And another Coolbank surprise. I was going to use some of this foam to make a travel box for said tank, and when I'm exploring it, I realized, oh, this is where they put the rack, the travel rack that goes on the side of the tank. So as I'm pulling the foam out, otherwise I would not have found that. Oh well. Clips. So this is the Coolbank Crusader. This is a Crusader III. It's got the 6-pound gun, which is roughly 56 millimeter. This is a later version of the tank that saw service mostly in Egypt and across the Western Desert into Libya, and was famous up until the Tunisian front, whereas after that it never really saw service as a combat tank again. It was mostly used as a tug or an artillery tractor, or it was used as an anti-aircraft tank. So the end of the desert campaign was pretty much its swan song. Now, the interesting thing about this tank is this is probably the tank that has the narrowest track that I've ever used. So we'll see how that works on our field. Anyway, for this tank, now that I have it configured correctly, power on. Now, I did break that loose, but we'll glue that back later. This is external fuel tank. Let's take this out. Let's take it out on the field. What it takes. Did I break anything? Nope, that took both tracks, so be careful. There's one. too bad. So far, holds up pretty good. Only if you do something purposely really dumb are you guaranteed to break it.